You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, General Hospital fans. I have a notion to discuss with you, and it's about how Nina Reeves could force Michael Corinthos to keep his mouth shut about the SEC call. Right now, Michael Corinthos seems to have heard Nina's name over the phone on Friday, but we won't know until Monday's episode exactly what he was told. They never said Nina's name that we could hear. Some people think he mouthed her name, but I went back and I rewatched that part of the episode like 5 times. And all I saw was his lips kind of angrily twitching before he turned around and started glaring at her. It looks in context, though, like he is going to find out that it's her. But does Sonny's adoptive son really have any right to tattle on her and throw shade at his new stepmother? I know a lot of you think that he does and he should, but I have some big things to remind you of. And I know exactly how Nina could make Michael eat his words and keep what he found to himself forever. I'm going to unpack it for you right now. But if you haven't already, please reach down, click subscribe so you don't miss any of our GH spoilers. I'm going to unpack a little recent history and a little more past history to give you context, but I'm going to talk a little faster than I usually do because I have a lot to say about this. So Sonny Corinthos is happily hitched to Nina, and fans are torn. Some want them to stay happy together. Others want to see Sonny dump her for reporting his ex to the SEC, and others want him back with Carly. And there's some overlap of those last two categories. And it seems that soon Nina's fate may entirely be in Michael's hands. Confirmed spoilers, though, suggest he's not going to run straight to Sonny with the news that Martin Gray made the SEC report on her behalf. Instead, he's going to think about what he wants to do, and I wonder if he might come at her sideways and try and blackmail and manipulate her. But let's be real for a minute. Michael Corinthos really does not have the moral high ground over Nina Reeves. You guys might think he does, but I'm going to remind you of a few things. Think about this. Why is Dex Heller in Port Charles? Michael found and recruited him from a private military firm, and what was Dex's mission that Michael hired him to accomplish? He was supposed to get evidence against Sonny so that Michael could turn it over to the feds and send his adoptive father to prison for life. Imagine if Nina Reeves finds out what Michael did, that he hired Dex and that Jocelyn's boyfriend has been a mole in Sonny's organization this whole time. Imagine if Sonny hears from Michael that Nina called the stock cops on Carly and Drew. Then imagine Sonny hears from Nina that Michael hired Dex to put him in prison for the rest of his life and that he recorded an entire flash drive of video of the Pikeman arms deal to make it happen. Which one of those two do you think Sonny might forgive first? Nina, who was clapping back at Carly for being petty and awful to her, or Michael for targeting him and trying to take away his freedom and his life to send him away from his children to spend life in prison? I imagine that Sonny definitely would be ticked off at Nina, but I imagine he would go nuclear on Michael. That would probably be the end of their father and son relationship. And when he finds out that Carly has known all along, well, I don't see a reconciliation for them happening either. So in terms of this unfolding, how it's going to unfold, I expect Michael may approach Nina to let her know that he knows what she did. He may come with a list of demands or threats. I talked about that in a recent video, but I want to pause for a minute to discuss how very much like Carly that Michael has been behaving. Michael thinks it's okay for him to do backhanded shady crap and betray people like his father, but when somebody else betrays someone, they're bad, but he's justified. That's some backwards logic. Maybe Mikey needs to take a little step back and think about the bigger picture. Of course he won't, but I'm going to do it on his behalf for you guys right now. Let's be real. Nina calling to drop a dime on Carly was done in a moment of anger, sure. But let's also be real about what Carly has done to bring this situation to the forefront. From the moment Carly Benson rolled into Port Chuck, she was a blonde nightmare on wheels. Back then, Carly did pretty much the same things Nell Benson did when she first came to town. She played straight from her stepsister's playbook. Carly tried to ruin Bobby Spencer's life. She slept with Bobby's husband, Tony Jones, and ruined his life. Carly has cheated, lied, and done half of Port Charles dirty. Maybe more. And she continues to be kind of out of control, who has no problem being downright nasty to anybody that's not in her inner circle. She's not exactly a well-behaved citizen. As for Nina, she was drugged into a coma by her own mother, gave birth to twins, but told she only had one baby and that baby died. When she came out of the coma, she was bat crap crazy. Definitely she was. She induced Ava's labor. She ran off with her baby. She spent time in a mental institution. There is no doubt that Nina has done bad things. But when you look at their history, the bulk of Nina's actions were done because she was tormented by her mother, spent years in a coma, and came out of it mentally ill. Carly's deeds were for vengeance. They were intentional. They were plotted out. They were wicked. As it stands, in my eyes, neither of these women is better than the other when you weigh their past deeds and why they were doing what they were doing. As to Nina stealing Sonny from Carly back when he was amnesiac Mike, do you recall Nina actually phoned to tell Carly she had found Sonny alive in Nixon Falls? She was calling to do the right thing, but Carly was a total jerk to her, so Nina just ended the call. I mean, it could have all ended if Carly could be civil to anybody for 2 minutes, but she can't. She can't. You guys know this about her. So I feel like Carly and Nina kind of shared the blame for that. And then Sonny came home and he could have stuck with Carly, but he decided not to. And they've split up umpteen times before. That's nothing new. And that's not on Nina. They've broken up so many times. Nina thought she had lost him, and then Sonny came to her. So Carly not being with Sonny, to me, is down in a lot of ways to their residual long-standing issues. Think about all the times they've broken up. He cheated, she cheated, they've betrayed each other. There's too much history there to even unpack. 99% of that predates Nina stumbling into their orbit. Now let's also consider what Carly's done to Nina. She knew that Nell was Nina's daughter and lied about it. She knew that Willow was Nina's daughter and she lied about it. When Nell went over the cliff, I honestly don't think Carly tried too hard to save her, but on that, I don't disagree. I mean, who would save Nell from hell? But the whole lying to Willow about Nina thing, it was heinous. And Carly tried to justify it by saying it was Harmony's deathbed wish. Why does Harmony get to have a deathbed wish granted? She was a pile of human feces who let a cult leader repeatedly rape her daughter. I am absolutely disgusted that GH has actually brought horrible Harmony back to warn her about Nina. Come on. If you measure Harmony against Nina as humans, Nina looks like Mother frickin' Teresa compared to Harmony. I mean, Harmony honestly deserved when she got run down by Sasha and died. Remember, she tried to kill both Alexis and Carly. After killing Alexis's lover and his brother, Harmony is a murdering, child-abusing, child-trafficking pile of garbage. Nina rubs people the wrong way and has a history of mental illness and lied about Sonny being alive after Carly was nasty to her. That is polar opposites apart. I will take Nina as my mom over Harmony any day. Carly had no reason to hide the fact that Nina was her mom from Willow. She just wanted to do it and was justifying it by saying it was Harmony's deathbed wish. As a matter of fact, I mean, Willow has got to see that Nina is much better for her than Harmony. Plus, Carly's lies almost cost Willow her battle with leukemia. Do you remember that? Because none of Nina's family was getting tested because Carly kept lying. But Carly has had no backlash from either Michael or Willow. And I think that was just a huge misstep by the General Hospital writers. And now Michael's ready to avenge his mother by revealing that Nina called the SEC on her. The only issue I really have with her making the call is that Drew wound up in prison for something Carly did that he asked her not to do. But that's what happens when you get involved with Carly. You pay for her bad deeds. Jason knew it, and now Drew does too. Sonny knows it. But back to my original point in all of this, Carly is no better than Nina, and neither is Michael Corinthos right now. I think it would be absolutely karmic if Nina somehow finds out that Dex has been Michael's little tattletale all along. Then Nina could blackmail Michael and they would be forced into silence or mutual destruction, because this tidbit coming out about Nina is not going to help Drew get out of prison. It does not matter who called to report your crime, or if they called to report your crime because they don't like you or don't like your girlfriend. If you did the crime, you know you could do the time. Drew's main crime was trusting Carly with confidential information. She abused his trust. She did bad things, and now he's in prison. All right. But consider this. Michael hired Dex in May of 2022. For 18 months, Dex has been on Michael's payroll, spying for him within Sonny's organization. And for the bulk of that 18 months, he was actively trying to get evidence to send Sonny to prison. To me, that is so much worse than what Nina did, and I think Sonny would see it that way too. And also bear in mind, Nina made a snap judgment in anger. Then she had kind of reconsidered it and wasn't going to have Martin make the call. But then Carly was awful to her again. I can't remember exactly what she said. And that's when Nina snapped and told Martin, do it, make the call. Michael, to me, his trickery and deceit was much more diabolical. He planned it all out. He looked for somebody. He went and hired someone. He got them embedded first into the gym and then into Sonny's organization. And then he had Dex doing all kinds of illegal and sketchy stuff to get evidence against Sonny. He put Dex at risk of arrest for all this nonsense too. And Dex did it all. And Michael was ready to use that stuff to send Sonny to prison. Only he changed his mind at the last minute. But for almost a year and a half, he was actively planning to do it. If Michael Corinthos is going to go around throwing shade and pointing fingers, maybe he needs to look in the mirror first. Plus, Willow and Carly both know what he did, and they haven't told Sonny. So, let's think about people keeping secrets and people going to prison because of those secrets, And it was today I was thinking about this. I was thinking about Michael, and then it was like, hey, hang on. He did something to me that is worse because he did it to his dad. Carly and Nina are rivals. They've been doing crappy stuff to each other. Michael did this to his father because he was upset that Carly and Sonny broke up. And they've broken up plenty of times before. What Michael did, so much more diabolical than what Nina did, at least in my book. But I can't wait to read your comments below. Of course, I don't know if Nina's going to find this out, but if she could, it might save her butt. We'll see. I know we all want the SEC info out. I do too, simply because I'm tired of the plot. But at the same time, if we're going to drag stuff into the light that should have already been dragged out, then Michael using Dex to spy on Sonny and trying to get his dad sent to prison should also come out of the shadows. What do you guys think? Drop your comments below. I promise to read them all. I love talking soaps with you guys. Click subscribe if you haven't already, and definitely click like if you enjoyed this little gab sesh. Hey, this has been Belinda from Soap Dirt. Come back soon.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.